So getting back to the concept of blending in, you know, a lot of people that post videos about survival, prepping, that kind of thing, and they use a lot of military equipment and know-how. There's nothing wrong with that. From my perspective, I first got involved in using Army surplus gear when I was a kid because it was cheap when I was a kid, and it gave me a lot of bang for my buck. So when you were going hiking through the woods to a lake to go fishing or going on a canoe trip, my parents weren't wealthy, and this gear would wear like iron. You were supposed to put this on and go to war. The worst hell I would put it through would not come close to what that gear was designed to sustain once given to a soldier. And growing up and working with a lot of law enforcement, firefighters, military people, I've always said that if you want to assess the ruggedness of a piece of equipment, I don't care if it's clothing, pack gear like this, electronics, tools of any kind, give it to a soldier or a cop. If they can't break it within 24 hours, it's probably good to go. That being said, there's a lot to be said for buying your equipment based on this premise: I'm never going to be able to replace this. Because of an economic reversal on your part, you'll lose your job. The world goes to shit with respect to supply chains. Haven't seen that happen before. When would that ever happen? Maybe the world's factory, China, decides they really don't like us this time. None of that stuff that you used to buy can be replaced when it wears out, inevitably. So that kind of is my baseline for the equipment. When Mrs. LFM and I used to train dogs, we did that for quite a long period of time, and ended up having to sideline and retire from that when we decided to take what we learned from training dogs and turned it to raising a kid or three. So now that's our thing. Nonetheless, didn't forget what we learned. Kids being closer to animals than they are to whatever the hell it is adults, to a large degree, like to believe that they are. It's a lot easier to get things through, build a good platform, foundation on which to build there. We always used to joke, we often wore camouflage pants for different reasons than I'm talking about from a color perspective, blending in. That wasn't the point. If they're a military issue, they're probably tough as nails. And our joke was always, the camouflage hid how dirty they were. And you could point to Woodland pants and say, on Thursday, and say these were white on Monday. Tee-hee, tee-hee. Think about, what if I can never replace this? And then try to be as tough as your fucking pants. Try to be as tough as your clothing. Try to be as tough as your gear.